Hi guys, Ninja Gaming here. I'm Ed.
And I'm Stu.
And today we are doing the Borderlands 2 review.
That's right, so we're going to jump right into it. Ed's going to change his clothes and go into the story.
Now the story for Borderlands 2, the thing is it takes place a few years after the incident of Borderlands, where the Vault Hunters, of course, if you don't know the end, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but they were very disappointed. Well, what happens is pretty much they don't think, oh, nothing much, so they move on with their lives. But actually, what happens is because the vault opened up, it makes iridium go everywhere, which is this huge alien like fuel source, pretty much. And so that kind of lures in this organization called Hyperion, and they just say, okay, we're going to use this stuff, and we're going to try to collect as much as we can. Meanwhile, while they're doing that, is they actually find out rumors for another vault. So the leader, called Handsome Jack, just decides to say, hey, I'm going to find this vault and just make, Pandora just an awesome place. Pandora just an awesome place, just with no violence, no crime, no anything. And so what happens is of course, not only him, but also other Vault Hunters decide to come in and try to find it, aka you guys. So your guys come in, and of course, there's the four classes as an assassin, the Gunzerker, the Commando, and the Siren. All these have played major roles in the story and everything. And also, you see a lot of the main characters from the first one in the story. This is really cool to see. And pretty much, I can't really give much else in the story. There's a lot of twists and turns in the story, which makes it really good and really fun and always keeps you guessing. So yeah, I'm not going to really say anymore, but I'm going to go over to Stu with the gameplay. Stu?
Thanks, Ed. So the gameplay for Borderlands 2 is we start off with our four classes. They're a little different this time around. You got Zero as the assassin, who has this, uses his katana for more of his abilities. And you have the bloodshed tree, you have the sniping tree, and you also have the cunning tree. And each tree of each class is a lot better this time around because it really gets you to differ between, it's pretty much a gamble of what you want to do with each class. And one of the big changes with one of the classes this time around especially is the Gunzerker, where his main ability is that he can wield two of any gun in the game that you have. So it could be a sniper rifle and a pistol, two sniper rifles, it could be a combination of two of whatever guns that you have. So that's the classes that are different in that way. Also, what's different about this game is especially with now we have Badass Rank. What Badass Rank is kind of like in the first one when you completed challenges and you got experience. Well, not only do you get experience, but you get something called Badass Rank. What Badass Rank is, it goes from 0 to whatever number that they're going to make it end at, and you get like 10 Badass Rank, 20 Badass Rank for either killing for a ton of different challenges, for killing skags, killing different kinds of enemies, for running over enemies with vehicles, traveling distances, jumping, how many bullets you have fired. They range everywhere, and they said that they are unlimited. So have fun with that. And once you get your badass rank up as far as you can, you unlock these new weapon proficiencies which you get, which give you about 8% more towards a certain skill. Or a certain effect. So, for example, your first one might be you could have 8% more gun damage than other players, and you can stack these up as many high as you want. But as you let's say you did one on gun damage, and the next time you want to do one on gun damage, it's going to take a 0.1% out of that. So it's not going to be 0.8% every time. It'll be like 0.7, 0.6. So it's going to decrease over time, but. I wonder what they're going to do for the future with Badass Rank when people complete all the challenges and stuff, which is very hard to do because there's a ton of them in this game. And what's nice about the game is with the challenges is you pretty much get them from just playing the game, which is great about Borderlands. But enough of that. Let's talk about the whole aspect of the game. It's absolutely huge. There's more levels, absolutely huge. Any place you see in this game, you can go to. So any mountain that you see is a place that you can warp to later and go, wow, I'm actually here. The thing that I saw before is where I am now. And one of the changes that they made in this game is they actually made what they really needed was a big hub world. Like they had Old Haven or New Haven in the last one, but it really wasn't like a center for all the people that are surviving on Pandora. This time you have people that are against Jack, and those are the people of Sanctuary, and you have this all the people that you know and love from the first game You can encounter them. There's a lot more missions. There are choices between weapons that you can get from each quest. They really make it so that you create your own experience when you play this game. Also, they added this new thing called respec, where you can take for a fee of your money, you can speculate all of your weapon of your class perks. So, like, let's say you went down this certain tree and you're like, okay, I don't really like it. I want to try a different tree. Well, you don't have to start a new character. You can just respec and do whatever you want. So it does cost some, but it is worth it if you want to try different things out with a character that you couldn't really do in Borderlands 1 unless you played with a different file. Also, the new thing that they added with a weapon bank in this game is that you can put the weapon in the bank and then go to a different save file, and you can grab that weapon in a different save file. I thought that was really cool. So, like, if you have this awesome, badass weapon that you got from your first playthrough of your assassin class, and you want to start a new one, and you're like, when you get to that level, you'd be like, I really want to use this weapon. Well, you can. You just put it in the vault, and then you go back to your save file, you grab it, and it's yours. And I think that's really awesome. The multiplayer mechanics for this game, they made it so much better with trading. You can trade weapons between people, and you don't really have to trade. You can just give it to them if you want. They fixed the whole thing in Borderlands 1 where you could just throw down your own weapon, they pick it up, you turn off your game, and it makes a copy of the weapon, pretty much. They completely thought of everything in this game, too. Everything from some of the boss battles, they make it so that you can't have an advantage over what the game really wants you to have, which is very nice and thought out after. So that's pretty much all I have for you for the gameplay. We're going to go to our pros and cons.
Thanks for the gameplay. Now we're going to move on to the pros and cons, of course, to the show. And, some of the cons to this game I thought were, of course, the one thing I thought was big that you start off straight off knowing is that there is no more carrying med packs, which I honestly really enjoyed that in the first one, that, I'm kind of running low on health, and now I have this. But now you don't carry around med packs, which is kind of a little bit of an upsetting thing to me. Probably adds a lot more challenge. But still, I would like that feature in this again, anyways. And that's the one thing that was kind of a little bit bad. So what else is there?
Like especially the items are like there's no healing shields this time around.
Yeah.
That was one thing I really wanted was healing shields because that was one thing I really liked in Borderlands 1. But what they did instead was instead of having a healing shield, you'll just find a mod or your character class will heal your shields. Or will heal your health as you recharge your shield.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, they got rid of the healing shields completely, and that's one of the things that I didn't like about 2. Another couple things was like especially with the inventory menu was I really didn't like how they made it because in 1 it felt like you had all like this nice big screen of room where you had all your weapons listed that you have. And then, you select it and you see in the bottom corner screen of all the stats. And, it's kind of the same, but the thing is you had a very large inventory space at the end of 1. You had a lot of slots. But at the end of 2, after going to the black market and purchasing them all, you only have like a max of about 27 slots. So it really narrows down your choices on weaponry. And it like makes you give up weapons that you really want. But in order to advance and get stronger, you have to give up some of those weapons that and while you might want to keep it in 1 as a keepsake. But they do have the bank in this game, which they added, and you can expand how much weapons you have in the bank also at the black market using Iridium.
Yeah, exactly. And also, you have also a safe that you can also put in certain items and everything like that. But what the main point is, because this is Borderlands and there is a bazillion guns, you're gonna run into those situations where you're like, oh yeah,
crap, I gotta throw something.
I gotta throw this away.
I gotta sell this.
I gotta do this. I gotta throw this away. I'm not around any sell point or anything, so throw it away. I did through that from the beginning to the end of the game, so it's crazy about that. Another thing that we thought was a lot that was bad about this was the glitches.
Yes.
The amount of glitches in this game were actually kind of shocking. First of all, the huge thing right now is apparently this thing going on with Shift. For all of you out there who don't know what Shift is, it's pretty much you play for Ubisoft. Shift is pretty much Gearbox's Uplay. You get pretty much free downloadable content and stuff like that. for entering these shift codes. Well, if you become a member and then you do all that stuff and everything, apparently your badass rank goes down to 0. Which made a lot of people kind of upset about that. Not that your like statistics and abilities and the challenges you completed go away. No, it's just the number that goes away, which is kind of
it's annoying. It's nice to see the whole thing stack up as high as you can from the beginning of the game to the end because I've compared my badass rank with some other friends and people that play the game longer and do more stuff. They have a higher badass rank and bragging rights.
Bragging rights.
And it doesn't really like affect the gameplay. Really, it's just kind of a bit annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
And unnecessary. And then one thing I didn't like that I liked more in Borderlands 1 was they changed the thing from weapon proficiencies to the badass rank.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily a con, but it's just a big it's just a difference between things because I really liked using pistols and revolvers, and I would usually use pistols and revolvers and also sniper rifles. And I would get with your proficiencies, you could get a very high amount even when you're done leveling up. You could still advance in that, but they switched it for the badass rank. So instead of improving one kind of weapon, you improve damage with all weapons. You prefer, shield recharge rate and delay, and it's like okay, it's a bit different, but yeah, that's one of the cons of the game. But the big one that we got going on for the cons of this game is for the online play. If you're playing with more than one person. And you have, let's say we both have a vault key, and we go to the sanctuary to open up one of the vault keys. Ed uses his vault key, right, and I still got mine. Well, he could just keep opening up that box over and over again, as long as I'm still in the game.
It's the golden box in Sanctuary, and for all you people who don't have it, you'll know what we mean by this. But apparently there is a glitch that if both of us have a vault key, and I walk up to it, I use it, and he keeps his vault key, I just constantly can keep on going, and it'll just eventually just glitch, where it just stops. So far,
it gives players an unfair advantage.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and these are all about like purple weapons. So and for all the people who know, you know how the rarities of weapons and everything goes: white, green, blue, purple, yellow, then orange. And then the light blue now that they have.
The rarest weapons they have.
So yeah, that's the one thing where it's like you get a pretty decent gun like right at the beginning of the game. Or whenever you use it.
It does help, and you do use it for a lot of levels. But yeah, that's pretty much all the cons that we have.
Yeah, all the cons. Now, what do you think are the pros of this game?
The strength of this game is that the weapons they all look different. They all act differently.
Yeah,
they have many different sights, many different abilities. You're never really gonna, unless it's a story weapon, you're never gonna find a gun that's exactly the same as your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
You may find the same kind of gun. They might both be incendiary or sniper rifles, but their damage is gonna be different. Another thing that I really liked about this game is that they added a new element, which is slag, and that's when you have slag and you hit somebody with it. It depends on what kind of gun it is.
Yeah.
But for however as long as the slag remains, they become more susceptible to all kinds of damage.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really like that. I think that was a cool element.
Yeah, that was a cool little thing. Also, not only do they have a lot of different guns, grenades now have it. Yes, there was grenade mods and everything, such as it blows up and you get health, or it blows up just normally, or there's just acid and stuff like that. No, they actually have abilities such as if I toss a grenade, it's going to stick to my opponent, blow up into 5 different grenades, and then it's just going to shower my enemies in acid.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So
very badass indeed.
And then also the abilities to each of the guns. There's some new abilities such as the ability to, instead of saying, "Hey, screw it, I'm not going to reload this gun. I'm going to toss it as a grenade."
Throw it at the enemy, and then explodes.
And then miraculously reappears. Don't know why, just cool. That's just badass.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the one thing that I think was awesome about this game. Also, the story has a lot of twists and turns.
Yes.
So
this is great about this game.
It's
the
cool.
Story is just so much better than one. It's more personal. It makes you feel for the characters. It's just a lot more. It draws you in a lot more than one did, and it's more significant. And you feel a big part of it when you play it.
Yeah, exactly.
The story is excellent to this game.
Yeah, exactly, and that's one of the beautiful things of that game is that the story, and it's 10 times funnier.
Yes, it is. It is so much funnier this time around.
It has a lot of good jokes.
It's got so many references to other games, and like one of the quotes is, "I used to be a Vault Hunter like you, but then I took a bullet to the knee."
Yeah.
It's
so,
like
it's one of those
make
things
fun of
where
everything.
they make fun of everything, but it's hilarious. So what would you give this game out of all the pros and cons that we just listed?
I would give this game probably a 9. I'm sold on this game. I would pay $60 for it. I did when it first came out, and I don't know. This game. It's got a very high replay value for me, especially with friends, and it is still a lot of fun by yourself. Provides a good challenge. Like I found the game a bit more difficult than 1. That was just me. A lot of people say the opposite, but I just found it a good challenge, something to keep me occupied. The game is just. I mean, it's so much bigger in its aspect, so much more epic. All the weapons look different. The characters are more memorable. The characters from the last 4 games, Mordecai, Brick, what's her name? The Siren.
Yeah, the Siren.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually all in this game, which is awesome.
They play a bigger role in the story, and that's just like really. I don't know, it really helps out the story.
Yeah, it's honestly really cool to see the 4 that you played as in the first one back in this one. So yeah, that was one thing that was really cool about the game. Pretty much me, I give it an 8 because yeah, this was such a big game, such a huge hype for the game. But the thing is, with all the glitches and the things happening and things of that nature, kind of dumbs it down a little bit. Still a great game. Still love it. Still play it.
Pick it up.
I'm still playing it with friends and everything. Still probably one of the best multiplayer games out there for me personally. That I can play with my friends.
If you love playing with your friends rather than against your friends, this is a game for you because that's what this whole game is about.
Exactly.
And you can verse each other if you knife each other, but it's not the core gameplay.
Yeah, it's not the main point of the game.
But the cooperative is just so much fun. Like they added the trading system so you can trade weapons and money and
that's the awesome.
I mean, it's really nice. Part of that game. But yeah, that's pretty much all of our pros and cons that we have for this. Pick up the game. It is absolutely amazing.
So again, review, he gives it a 9. I give it an 8. 9. So as always, guys, subscribe, comment down below.
Yes.
Next game you want us to do, or any comments about the show itself, blah blah blah.
Any suggestions, comments, concerns, negative or positive, whatever, just leave something down there.
And then as always, share and like this, guys. All right, we'll see you later, guys.
Goodbye.